And now that we're hearing that, Biden is not going to do the $10,000 to $20,000 worth of relief, where does that leave us? That leaves us to literally just getting it on our own and making sure that we handle the tasks that we've been given, that we took upon ourselves. Yes, I was able to knock mine off, but it's not as if I came from some rich family. I am the oldest of 8 kids, okay? So life is no silver spoon for me. On top of that, I want to jump into what's happening right now so far as with the student loans. As you all know, I was able to pay off $72,000 worth of student loans. And that wasn't really by getting any money from anyone. It was negligence, even on my own self, that I thought if I made minimal payments that it would knock down things. That's why I kind of ballooned to that 72,000. And now that we're hearing that, Biden is not going to do the $10,000 to $20,000 worth of relief, where does that leave us? That leaves us to literally just getting it on our own and making sure that we handle the tasks that we've been given, that we took upon ourselves. Yes, I was able to knock mine off, but it's not as if I came from some rich family. I am the oldest of 8 kids, okay? So life is no silver spoon for me. On top of that, single mom, also have 2 dads. So some of my brothers and sisters come so far as on my dad's side. I have another brother on my mom's side. And growing up, it was just me and my mom for the longest. Then she married. So, but I've always seen my brothers and sisters either on the weekends or during the week. I'm not during the week, during the summertime, and staying extensive time during the summer. So I've only knew how to literally just grind and get my stuff done. That's all I've known my entire life. I literally have been working since I was 15. I think that is a lost art that we don't take a part of. Like, even with my 2 daughters, and I'm locked in, I'm just gonna have to, just for financial reasons, I believe it's more of a successful path, having, and being a steward of knowing how many kids you can handle. And my goal for my 2 daughters is to literally have a nest egg of $1 million per child, and have that so far as for college, wedding, any other expenses. Maybe they want to do something when they're building a house with their husbands, different things like that. All of that's going to pull from those 2 pots. So that's my goal. And to do that goal, I've literally have been working since I was 14. And it hasn't been an easy thing. Going to college, working at, doing my photography and video business that is thriving. I wasn't even able to get to the place where I'm at now without the sacrifices that I did then. So, doing my photography and videography in college, working at the Boys and Girls Club, doing paid internships, which is important, at my college at USC Upstate, and doing Balo stocking at night and bagging. So literally, I was working 4 jobs, putting back money to invest within my company. But at the same time, when I graduated USC Upstate with a bachelor's degree in history. A lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, that's no type of." I literally knew I just needed a job because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I just needed a job. And the great thing about the whole collegiate aspect, that money and funding that was coming in, I could use that base to kind of start up my own company. So my reason of going to college was really just making network connections, meeting friends, and growing my network. That was my own thing. It wasn't really going to college to get a job. And I think this is the place where the education system kind of screws a lot of different people. If you're going to college just for the aspect of getting some type of job after college, especially if you're not in anything in the STEM field, and I'm not even in the STEM field, I'm just speaking on that behalf, like, if you're not in that STEM field, it's not gonna pan out very, very strong for you. Not taking advantage of the networking opportunities, not increasing your soft skills and different things like that. I think those are the skills that college teaches us the best, which to a certain extent, we probably should get a lot of that stuff in high school, but that's here nor there. So we get in college and we understand how to create those soft skills in college. That gives us our ability to reach out to different companies, collaborate with other individuals, thinking outside of the box creatively, understanding that those soft skills is going to land us to other jobs. Because my job straight out of college, I was assistant administrator for Spartanburg School District 7 as a McKinney-Vento coordinator. A job that I probably should have had a master's degree for, but I did so many different internships in college, on top of having 3 different jobs, having 4 different internships, you know, oftentimes asking my employers to work around different schedules, and they did because they knew that I was an asset to whatever company I was a part of, and I was an asset to the team. So I was able to build up my photography and videography company from actually hustling and working these jobs. Now, my 20s and after that, you know, I went to Walford, all that stuff, and then, you know, here and so forth. But like, I spent my 20s and my early 30s literally just working, grinding, pouring into myself, and also paying off my student loans. And I looked at the pandemic, and not to say this out of any inconsiderate to anyone else that, you know, passed away, because I had family members that passed away as well. But I also looked at it as a slight blessing, because I was able to pay off all of my student loans with no interest. Because the interest portion, that's literally what was killing me. Like, I started to like just make multiple payments, huge payments. So stuff that I was paying, like at that time, my car payment was done. I just had my mortgage. I'm blessed to get a phenomenal mortgage that's around like $780. I don't have a huge house. I plan on getting a, you know, bigger house in my 40s, because my daughters are always looking at the house. She's like, oh, the house is so big. It is so nice. I'm like, you know, one day daddy's going to make sure that you have a really big room. But right now we're just in the second portion of our grind season. And I'm willing to work to make sure that my family has. And I think as a man, that's just very important. So response to what Biden so far has placed out. So let's take a small break. Just look at that video really quickly.
My administration improved the program from the Obama-Biden administration on income-driven repayment plan. That's what it was referred to as. Back then, we set a limit. Student borrowers would pay no more than 10% of their disposable income to pay back their debt in any one time. My administration is going to reduce that to 5%. It's now the most generous repayment program ever. No one with an undergraduate loan today or in the future, whether from a community college or a four-year college, will have to pay more than 5% of their disposable income to repay their loan. And that's income after you pay for the necessities like housing and food and the like. Typical borrower is going to save about $1,000 a year. And if you keep up payments for 20 years without missing them, your total debt is forgiven after 20 years. That's what the program was before, but we've just reduced it to 5%. In addition to that, last year I announced my student debt relief plan. The plan that was on the verge of providing more than 40 million Americans with real debt relief. Up to $10,000 for many borrowers and up to $20,000 for those who had gotten a Pell Grant. Nearly 90% of the relief would have gone to borrowers, 90% of it, making less than $75,000 a year. And no one making over $125,000 a year would qualify. This program was all set to begin. The website had been set up, The applications had been simplified so that it took less than 5 minutes to complete. Notice had been sent out to people about the relief they were eligible for. 16 million people. 16 million people had already been approved. The money was literally about to go out the door. And then Republican elected officials and special interests stepped in. They said, no, no.
I think the biggest thing would be that 10% that's been decreased to 5%, which is going to help out individuals to kind of make those payments back. So it gives you a minimal base of a payment. But that extra that you have, guys, throw that into there as well, man, and really just get these things knocked off. You just feel a lot more free, not having those huge burdens on your back and not having to look over your shoulders. It makes it easy getting capital. Like for my business, I was able to get a $50,000 loan, a $72,000 loan, because I didn't have these student loans that were just like pressuring on top of me. It was easy to get that. My credit cards, all of that, like extreme limits on those as well. Where I literally just, give my wife my card and then he pays off that. I just paid it off for Merck because the limit on it is so large. And it's only because I was able to knock off those student loans. It was really, really killing my ability to scale my business and to scale my family. So if you're listening to this in your 20s, mid 30s, I turn 35 next year. You are able to do it. I was able to do it. I'm from a small town in Spartanburg, South Carolina. It's a small town in the South, in South Carolina, and I was able to work hard, pay off my student loans, support my family, build my family, and able to, pour back into you all. So that's my goal. That's my video for today. I have other videos dropping. Some videos that my wife filmed before our little one came, so we're gonna start dropping those out. Then she's gonna come on here as well and start giving some advice and her thoughts on just life and pouring into the women, different things like that. But I'm gonna stay on the creative side and the finance side. That's where I'm going to go. No, I'm not your financial advisor or anything like that, but I have learned from my own mistakes and I've been successful in doing my due diligence. And the information that I am learning, I'm just gonna pour into you all. So blessings, say lie, have a phenomenal weekend, and see you next time.